What if Meghan Markle wasn't just another Hollywood hopeful trying to land her big break, but instead a woman with a razor-sharp eye on something much bigger than red carpets and TV roles? What if her ultimate goal was never about Hollywood royalty at all, but about slipping into actual monarchy? A real crown, a real title, a seat at the table of power. And here's the kicker. This climb didn't start when she met Harry. No. Meghan had already pivoted her game long before the blind date that would change everything. She was moving like a chess player. And guess who might have been one of her earliest pieces on the board? Piers Morgan. Yes, that Piers Morgan. Now let's spill the tea on that infamous pub meeting. Piers has told the story over and over again. Meghan slid into his messages, they met for drinks, and according to him, the chemistry was sparkling. They laughed, they connected, and Piers, like a proper gentleman, put her in a cab at the end of the night. But here's where it gets delicious. The very next time he heard Meghan Markle's name, she wasn't texting him back. Oh no, she was dating none other than Prince Harry. Coincidence? Or was this always part of the bigger plan? But wait, let's pause. The real question isn't what happened that night. The real question is, why did Meghan reach out to Piers in the first place? Think about it. He wasn't just some talk show host. He was connected. He was plugged into the UK media, a household name with doors wide open across British society. If Meghan wanted access, she couldn't have picked a better insider to cozy up to. Was it a date? Maybe not. Was it innocent? Darling, that's up for debate. Because when you look at her history, oh, trust me, we're about to get into it, Meghan's relationships have always had a certain pattern. They weren't random, they were strategic. Let's rewind to those early interviews. Meghan wasn't just smiling politely on talk shows. She was working the stage like a woman who knew exactly how to use charm as currency. Take her appearance on The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. My goodness, she's perched on the couch giggling just a little too much, leaning in with exaggerated flirtation, her outfit screaming, "Notice me." The energy was desperate. Even Craig, a man known for cheeky, edgy interviews, seemed visibly thrown off. The tension was forced, the flirtation overdone, and the whole vibe radiated. Pick me, please. And that wasn't a one-time act. Nope. Fast forward to her interview with Larry King, sitting alongside her Suits co-star Patrick J. Adams. The irritation was practically painted on her face every time Patrick spoke. Meghan wasn't the center of attention, and she hated it. You could see it. So what did she do? Tossed out a flirty one-liner that left both Larry and Patrick scrambling for their water glasses like they were suddenly in a sauna. It was chaotic, it was awkward, and it was oh so telling. Meghan wasn't just answering questions, she was performing, selling, angling for attention. And not subtly either. Behind the cameras, the strategy was even clearer. Meghan wasn't just falling into the British scene, no, she was hunting it. People close to her, like Lizzie Cundy and journalist Katie Hind, have flat out said it. Meghan wanted a British man, not an American, not a Hollywood exec, not just anyone. She told people openly she was on the prowl, and Brits were the target. And look at the list of names. She wasn't exactly discreet. Messages to Matt Cardle, the X Factor winner. Flirty exchanges with Max George from The Wanted. Even footballer Ashley Cole, despite his terrible reputation at the time. Meghan cast her net far and wide, but notice the pattern. She wasn't chasing A-listers. She was chasing men with visibility, men with headlines, men who could give her access. Even in Canada, before Harry, there was Corey Vitello, the celebrity chef, another rising star, another ticket into the spotlight. One connection after another, always angled upwards. And when something shinier came along, goodbye, darling. On to the next. So let's circle back. Did Meghan want something romantic with Piers Morgan? Maybe. Maybe not, but perhaps the juicier question is this. Has Meghan ever approached a man without wanting something in return? That's not just ambition, that's a playbook. Go back and watch those interviews. On Craig Ferguson, she wasn't subtle. She was laughing too hard, leaning in too close, shifting in her seat like she was trying to draw every eye in the room. Her face exaggerated every expression as though she wasn't just answering questions, but auditioning for the biggest role of her life, the role of Meghan Markle, noticed and adored. On Larry King Live, it was the same story. Sitting beside Patrick Adams, her co-star, you could practically see her irritation bubbling when the spotlight shifted off her. Every word out of Patrick's mouth seemed to gnaw at her. Meghan wanted center stage, always. And when she wasn't in the spotlight, she made sure to claw her way back in with a flirty quip or dramatic gesture. This tells us something important. Meghan doesn't share space easily. She doesn't fade into the background. She fights to control the narrative, to pull the focus back to herself. And that trait didn't just live in the studio. It bled into her personal life, her friendships, and her relationships. Look closely, and the pattern is glaring. Meghan wasn't just climbing the social ladder. She was building the ladder step by step, using people as rungs. Every rung got her higher, and once she was steady, the rung was no longer needed. Think of Lizzie Cundy left high and dry. Think of Millie McIntosh discarded once Meghan broke into higher circles. Think of Trevor Engelson, the husband who didn't fit fit the future vision. Each person had a purpose, and once that purpose was fulfilled, Meghan moved on without hesitation. Cold, efficient, strategic. And here's where things get even juicier. After Trevor, after the ghosting, after the discarded friendships, Meghan didn't just float into the arms of Harry by accident. Oh no. She was already aligning herself with the British elite. Trips to London, nights out with the right people, meetings that seemed innocent but were, in fact, carefully orchestrated. Piers Morgan wasn't a random pub encounter. He was a deliberate chess move. And let's not forget, she openly told people she wanted a British man. It wasn't about love of culture or fascination with tea and cricket. It was about access. The British aristocracy was her target. And when she finally landed Harry, that wasn't a fairy tale. That was the final boss level of her game. But here's the dark twist. When you build a castle on sand, it eventually sinks. And that's exactly what's happening. Look at Harry. Really look at him. He doesn't look like a man living in a love story. He looks like a man drained. His spark, the cheeky prince who charmed the world, has dimmed. His friends, gone. His family, distant. The life he built through service, through loyalty, through sacrifice, slowly stripped away. And who's standing beside him in every photo, every headline, every documentary deal? Meghan. And people are noticing, not just the tabloids, but the public, the analysts, even former friends who once defended her. They're connecting the dots. They're remembering the interviews, the eye rolls, the ghosting stories. They're realizing Meghan didn't stumble into royalty. She hunted it, she captured it, and she rebranded herself through it. But when ambition wears the mask of love, it never truly nurtures. It consumes. And once the consuming stops being useful, history tells us Meghan moves on. So the burning question is this: if tomorrow a new door opened, bigger fame, more power, a brighter spotlight, would Meghan walk through it without a second thought, based on her past? The answer seems chillingly obvious. And poor Harry. He gave up everything: titles, home, family bonds. He sacrificed his very identity. And for what? For a love story that, to many, looks less like romance and more like strategy. That's why so many people who once adored Meghan now doubt her. It's not about nationality. It's not even about the royal family. It's about authenticity. Or rather, the lack of it. Because from the over-the-top flirtation on late-night shows to the meticulously staged victimhood of recent years, Meghan's story feels less like reality and more like a performance. And no matter how polished the rebrand, the cracks always show. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Meghan didn't just marry Harry. She married the brand of Harry. She married the position. She married the opportunity. And look at the results. Today, Meghan isn't just Meghan, she's the Duchess. A global headline machine. She became the face of a rebranded empire. A lifestyle that borrows the glamour of royalty without carrying the responsibility of duty. For a while, it looked like she had won the game. Fame, fortune, documentaries, book deals, interviews worth millions. The kind of media empire that Hollywood actresses dream about. But here's the problem. Empires built on image alone wobble. And Meghan's carefully crafted image is cracking fast. Let's talk about Harry again. The man once known for his mischievous grin, his cheeky laugh, his undeniable spark. Now, watch him in interviews. His posture is slumped, his voice lacks energy, his words feel rehearsed and heavy. He doesn't sound like a man living in a love story. He sounds like a man lost in someone else's script, and the world sees it. That's why so many who once supported her are turning skeptical. It's not about race. It's not about nationality. It's about authenticity. People sense when something feels manufactured. And Meghan's history, from over-sexualized charm on late-night couches to the icy-cold exits from friendships and marriages, doesn't scream authentic. It screams calculated. Let's not forget, Meghan has always rewritten her story in real time. Back then, she was starstruck by red carpets and celebrity circles. Today, she's the victim, the survivor, the humanitarian. But those two versions don't match. And when people realize that, when they see the cracks between her past and her present, the whole fairy tale starts to unravel. And here's the darkest part of all. If Meghan has done this before, moved on when she was done, pivoted when she found something better, why would Harry be any different? Why should he be the exception? Because when ambition dresses up as love, it doesn't stay loyal. It consumes what it needs. And when it's done consuming, it moves on. That's the fear now. That Harry, the boy who grew up in castles, who survived scandals, who once represented the very spirit of the monarchy, might end up as just another stepping stone in Meghan Markle's climb. Another man left behind, wondering how he ever underestimated her drive. Because Meghan didn't just stumble into royalty, she hunted it. She played the game harder, sharper, and smarter than anyone ever saw coming. And once you understand that, everything about her story looks very different.